Hi, we're about to start, everyone, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello my lovelies, so I'm Lizzie and this is Live with Lizzie, and today we're going to be creating 4 cards with a one sheet wonder. I have prepped another 4 as well, but we'll see how we go. I hope you're all well. We've had some technical issues immediately, so hopefully that means that they're all out of the way for now. Anyhow, we're going to jump in by flicking over to the overhead camera, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I got up to this weekend. I can see that Chantal is here. Hello. The lady that I met at the crop that I was at this weekend here in Calgary, which was really nice. It was lovely to have a couple of days of crafting for fun. Some of the things that I crafted for fun were some extras for our layout challenge. So you've already seen this one, which was the one that we made in our live a couple of weeks ago. This was the original that I created. This I made last week in the live using our Doodlebug Summer Fun special edition. This was used making our Magic of Christmas kit in the pad, and this is another Doodlebug collection that I made. So I managed to get 2 of the layouts made. Who else have we got here? We've got Pam, we've got Jana. Hello lovelies, thank you for joining us. Incidentally, I did also make Sending Love on Butterfly Wings, that was fun. And one stamp set I managed to make 3 cards from. So I will share pictures of these separately. And I think that this technique that I used to make those 2 cards, I think we'll do a live video with that as well in the up and coming, because that was real good fun. Anyhow, the layout challenge runs for another 6 days. So I'm pretty sure Liam's going to show us. Yes, there we go. That's the layout. So you don't have to use Love from Lizzie products. You don't have to use Background Builder 2. You can just make a card that looks something similar to that, and you can upload it directly into the link challenge. You don't need to have a blog or share it on Instagram. But of course, if you do have a blog or Instagram, share them in there. We'd love to see what you've made. We're trying to get everyone making, because it's so much fun and it's so easy to put it off and go, I'll do that later, I'll get the laundry done. But who needs laundry? So let's make. Anyhow, we made a fun fold, and I have these here just as reminder inspirations. This was also a live. This is the Mermazing collection, and this was the one that we made in the actual live video with the kit, using some of the papers and the ephemera from it. And here is a picture of the kit, and as you can see at the bottom, all the pattern papers, and there is so much ephemera. The stamps are lovely, so using a one sheet wonder will make those pattern papers go so much further. We'll get that many more cards out. So I am going to jump in and show you our layout that we're going to be working from today. So you can freeze this, pause it if you want to, and because you will be able to see there are 4 different cards. There's the blue blobs, the green blobs, the yellow blobs, and the purple blobs. And all the measurements for the one sheet wonder are on the left hand side. I have to think about that. I'm not good with left and right. And on the right, they are the measurements for the mats. Now, card 1, I have made the mat ever so slightly larger than the other 3 because they're small. Oh, we've got Doris here. Hello, lovely, from Oklahoma. Wow. We've got Barb. Everyone's coming. Lovely. And Elizabeth as well. Hello, hello, hello. So, as I say, you've got your patterns on the one side and you've got your mats on the other. So, I have got... Here's some I made earlier. I have taken this from the pattern papers, and I did have a good rummage through, and I try to be really honest when it comes to making with the kit and not using the same page multiple times over by stealing another one, essentially. So I do try to stick, and this is the one I've gone for. I think a tight as with all one sheet wonders in my estimation, a really busy pattern, so this would work really well. These would work well as well if you want to have the ephemera as the hero. This one I was very seriously contemplating. This would have worked really well as well, as would this one. And these would be lovely for mats. But what we're going to do is we'll use this sheet from the kit, and I have already spiderweb pencil. Perhaps if we pull you in on the close-up, we'll be able to see that. I have pencil lines on there. Let me get it so that it's the same way. Yeah, that is the correct way up. So you've got card 1, card 2, card 3 and card 4. So these are all the right way now. And all I'm going to do is use my baby trimmer with this. Now this is one of the specialty sheets. There are 6 sheets in here, and I was playing around trying to work out which one I wanted to use. There was also a pink one, but this is the other set that I've prepped with them amazing. But there is also pink glitter in this collection. But I decided to use the teal mirror because I think it's just going to work really nicely. I have ideas. Hopefully they come off. And what I've done on the back here is those matte measurements that I had up next to the layout. I have just drawn them out. I haven't written the measurements on here, but they're all there, and all of them for the one card fits on one sheet if you're willing to do a little bit of surgery on the inside of the largest one, but this gets covered anyway. So this is going to make we're going to be able to make 4 cards using one sheet of specialty and one sheet of pattern paper. That's the plan at least. Right, so let's start doing some chopping. So this is really nice. This is a really nice straightforward one. You don't have to even draw the pencil lines on as I have. I do because I make a little bit of a hash of inches still. As you'll note, if you if you read on the cheat sheet that I created, I put 1 6/8 instead of 1 3/4. So I'm learning, I'm trying, but I'm still not quite perfect. So bear with me. But anyway, I'm going to chop this at 3 inches and then again at 3 inches. And now that is one of the cards done. So we'll pop that one over there. Now these get chopped at 1.5. We'll chop those. And then I'll pop them both in at the same time because we can butt them up. Again to 1.5 inches for the 2 of those. Must also say this isn't our only live this week. On Saturday we are having our Full of Woe virtual class, which I'm very excited about. We have got further details coming via email very shortly for those that are signed up. I'm very excited about it. It's I think it's going to be lots of fun because I did run through some of the items with one of the ladies this weekend, Jana, who is attending because she is a scrapbooker. And I'm pulling her over to the dark side to do some card making, which is going to be loads and loads of fun. I'm really excited for it. I think she's going to really enjoy herself. Okay, so I am chopping these. I have chopped all 3 there at 1 inch each. And now these all need to be chopped either at 4 inches or, depending which way up you have it, at 2. So I will just chop these, and I'll do it individually at 2, and then that will create our last 2 cards. My gosh, we are so hot here today. And we have, as you may have noticed by my Beyonce hair, I have got a fan on. Please let me know if it's interfering, if anyone is able to hear it, and if it's annoying. But it's so warm. Summer has finally hit Calvary. Okay, so here we have our chopped pieces. Ta-da! 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now I'm going to chop the mats because I do really like a mat. Now, if you would prefer not, I would suggest that using just the pattern paper is also perfectly acceptable. They're really pretty patterns, and you could run a peel off around it. You know, the pinstripe bundle that comes in the kit this month with this particular pattern as well, the gold moon dust with gold finish, is super pretty around the edge. So you don't need to add this additional weight, this additional layer. These cards will look super pretty without the mats, but I'm going to do it because I like to have a little bit extra. Oh, we have Nedra, hello. Right, this one, not quite so simple to chop. So I'm going to bring in the big boy because it is longer, and the first chop that I'm going to make is at 2 1/8. Let's try to make sure that you can see. So 2 1/8. This has got the potential to go drastically wrong. I am a centimetres girl, so let's just hope for the best, shall we? Right. So this is 1 1/8, this tiny piece here. So I'm going to pop that in, give it a chop. Now this one is going to sit with that, that card, and then I'm going to chop this one. Now this is going to be 1 6/8, also known as 1 3/4. That was a bit of a faux pas on my part. And then these are the squares, so these are 1 3/4 each as well. And there's one. Actually, I could do those on the smaller one now. Let's retire the big chopper. Okay, right, so this is much daintier and much more user-friendly. Okay, so 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Now, as I say, this doesn't need to be 1 3/4. You can do 1 5/8 if you prefer to have the super narrow border, which is what I have done for the other mats. But because these are smaller pieces, I thought I would make the mats just slightly larger. But it's a preference thing. It's whichever you prefer the look of. Okay, so this is waist. These we are now going to chop at 4 1/8. 4 1/8. Sorry, don't chop them at 4 because then they'll be the same size as your pieces here. Right, 4 1/8. And then these are all going to be chopped at 1 1/8. If I can see the line, it's at a really inconvenient spot because the reflection, here we go, 1 1/8. So yeah, if you're taking the guard off, be super careful with your fingers. We don't need blood on our cardstock. That would not be ideal. 1 1/8. Okay, so that's that card. And now let's get the guard back on. we don't want any accidents. I had a little birdie fly at my window this morning. That was horrid. Poor little thing. Okay, but it did fly away in the end, so I'm happy about that. So this is 3 1/8 that I'm chopping here. I'm doing 3 1/8 again. I'm going to pop that here because we need to do a little bit of surgery with that one still. So this is 2 and 1/8. And then 1 and 1/8 again. So we'll pop this out so that we can see. Okay, right. Okay, so this is all that's left over. So if you're like me and you really hate having waste, this is wonderful, because that is using up as much of your card as you possibly can. Okay, so this one here we're going to chop out. It's in the middle because we needed one extra and there wasn't the space. Okay, does that make sense? There wasn't the space on the cardstock, so I've popped it from the middle. Now to get this out, I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to keep as close to the top as I can and the bottom, because the less that I can remove, the better, so that for the stability of and the integrity of the mat here. So I've essentially reminded myself how much I need to replace the blade on my craft knife. But yes, and then I've just popped the hole through, and now I'm going to guide my scissors in and around those score lines that I've created, because you don't want to interrupt the edge. As soon as you interrupt the edge, it's really easy to see that a piece has been stolen. Now, do you remember we had these waste pieces? Hang on to those, because when you're putting your card together, you can snip some of this and attach it down, and it will just help support that middle piece, because it doesn't look particularly pretty, but once you have your paper on top of it, you wouldn't know anyway. So we will keep some of our scrappy bits up here, and we will now get our little trimmer back and we will chop our lines in. And I am going to have to use my pencil lines on this one, because I have now taken away the facility of being able to measure properly. I could measure at this point here, 1 1/8. She says, and it slides. There we go. And 2 1/8. There we go. So now we're ready to start making some cards. We've done all of our prep work. Okay, so we are going to I'm going to move these off just for now, because I don't want things to get confused, or for the camera to try and grab at the shiny. Those mats, there are so many different ways to be able to do those. Oh, we've got more. Hello. We've got Shanna, we've got Gloria. Hello. I hope you're all well, ladies. Is the weather treating you fairly where you are? Okay, so as we all know, my favourite is a top fold A2. So I'm just going to make 4 top folds by scoring at 5.5 and then folding into to create the mountain inside the card. Okay, so this is number 3. So, has everybody received their Under the Sea kit yet? Do we all have them? Are we playing along? That is something we want to know. Okay, I've made 4 now. Let's pop that back. Oh, excuse me. Right. So, card base number 1. Let's do card number 1, which I do believe is our squares. So we have 4 mirror pieces and we have 4. Now this, I should have paid more attention. I'm usually really good at this, but now we have to work out. I really like it when the pattern continues. And I have obviously jumbled these all up. Oh, I think we might have got away with that. Look. Ta-da! That all fits. Yay! Okay, so I am going to use tape runner. You can use whichever you prefer. Wet glue allows you to reposition somewhat, and this is where I hope that my measuring has paid off and that the borders are all the right edge, the right space around the edge, but we will see. Tape runner dying on me. Overworked and underpaid. Okay, next. Uh-oh. Right. And the same again, I do this just by eye. You can obviously lay your T-square ruler on it if you want to make sure that you get your edges in the right spot. But that's number 3. And now we have number 4. There we go. So there's lots that you can do with these. You could place them like this and have your sentiment in the middle. Oh, and we have Doreen with us now as well. Hello. Oh, I can see we're talking about ice cream. Lovely. My favourite. I think I mentioned last week the mistake that I made buying an ice cream cake for Little Pig's birthday and not realising it was ice cream. Oh, French toast. Right. Soak bread in melted ice cream. Make French toast. Wow. That sounds lovely. But it sounds like I wouldn't get back up off the couch. Right. I am going to adhere these down, and I'm going to use foam tape for this. And then we'll decorate them all at the end. So this is again a personal preference. Let's pop that back and let's just get a nice big chunk off. It is a personal preference. No, we're not having that bit. I'm going to throw that on the floor instead. Right. So I like a bit of dimension on my cards. It does mean that when they go through the post, they're a bit more expensive, but I think it makes them look lovely and poppy. It just, quite literally adds that extra layer, doesn't it? So it's an each to their own situation. I think these would also look lovely if between the patterned paper and the mirror cardstock we run peel-offs, which I'd be very happy to do, but you've seen me do it a gazillion times before, and perhaps we'll do it on one of the ones that hasn't got quite so many edges to deal with. But to line these up, I would suggest using the lines on your grid mat. So pick a line. I'll use this one because it's relatively middle on the mat, the one that has the number 2 by it. And I'm going to put my card right into the middle of that. Okay? And then here I'm going to pick another line that comes across. And I'll pick this one. So I'm going to pretend that there's crosshairs on my card front. And then I will space my pieces according to those crosshairs and try to keep the gap in the middle similar. I'm not too worried about the sides and the top and the bottom. If anything, I prefer it shifted down a little bit because I think it just looks a little more finished. But I'm quite happy with that placement, so I'm just going to start removing the backing pieces and starting with this corner where I want it to be, and then guiding it down, all the while checking the top and the side to make sure they're straight to my card's edges. And then I'll do the same on this side. Lay it down, eyeballing this corner, watching where that sits, and I want that similar gap both all the way along here, and then as I start to lay down, straight on both the top and that side. So I'm happy with where they are. Now I'll do this one, and it's this corner that I'm going to be watching. I'm happy with the placement. This gap is the same as this gap. They're both straight. It looks straight here. So I'm going to hold that corner and allow it to drop, watching to make sure that that line stays straight. That's that one, last one. And now this corner again, popping it in, trying to make sure that both the line at the top and in the middle are in the right spot, and lay that down. The other thing that you can do is lay something in between. But now we have the foundation of one card. So I'm going to pop that to one side. We'll decorate these all together at the end. And we will do card number 2, which is, here's the base. I didn't burnish that very well. And so here's my chopped up piece, and some of the spares that were waste. So I'm going to pop tape runner onto the back, even though there's areas where there will be a hole. And now I'm going to line this up on here, and this border is much tighter, so I really need to be thoughtful and take my time and not press it onto the mat. Now of course I have some tape exposed here, which is great, so I can just pop that piece in there. I will add a touch more so that I can add some of these scraps in. In fact, I'm going to be even more frugal. I'm not going to use that long strip because I could use that elsewhere. You don't need to fill it in as much as I am. I'm only doing this just to show that you can, essentially. If you don't want to run the risk of your card looking as though it's not got enough integrity, then this is the way to do it. Okay. Just managed to retrieve the piece of foam tape that ran away from me earlier. I'm going to pop this on opposing corners, and then add some strips. Oh, a bit too long there. Okay. I don't need to remove all of the backing from the foam tape here because it's just holding it out. I'm not worried about it falling off because there's enough adhesive elsewhere. If I wasn't doing a live, I probably would remove all of the backing, but we've all seen me do lots of that before, and as I say, it's not necessary. Check which way up the card is. My favourite thing is to stick it upside down. And now again, you get to choose where you want this. What kind of I mean, you can even have it over to a side if you want. I mean, I am more of a middle for diddle. I am actually going to, unusually for me, pop this at the bottom, just to make it a bit different. So now we have 2. Let's move on to number 3. Extra burnish, because you can never burnish too much. Okay, so let's do card number 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So let me arrange. So that one goes there. There we go. That didn't take very long, which is always reassuring. We'll start off on this side. and place these down. 1, 2, 3. This just goes to show that one sheet of paper can go such a long way. I feel like I haven't trimmed this one tight enough, so I'm going to actually trim this after I stick. I'm going to trim some of this edge off. I'm not sure quite what happened there. I thought I'd measured it all correctly, but something sticky on that. That's not helpful either. I am just going to take off a hair. These are supposed to be 1 and 1/8. But I will take off that slither, and there we go. No one would ever know, would they? So instead of putting these onto 3 individual mats as well, you could have done one big rectangle so that they would have all presented together with a bit of a gap in between, but I like the look of sticks in the sand. Okay, so I'm going to get my foam tape again. And let's just grab a chunk. Oh, lovely. This is ideal size. Look at that. As long as you don't stick it wonky, as I just tried to. There we go. No one will know. Promise. Okay. That can go there. And we'll chop to number 3. Oh, is Liam telling on me for never cooking the right amount of food? Oh, apparently not. But I'm terrible for it. I think I may have just jumped into the end of a chat there. But I'm terrible. I used to be really good at judging the amount of pasta to cook, and I have completely lost that skill. It's yeah, my superpower fails me now. Okay. Right. I turned these over as I went. So this is the middle one. This is the one that's really important, because if you put one at the side first, then you're committed. Whereas if you put the central one in, also going to make sure they're all the right way up. Yep. Okay. So I haven't got a lot of space back here now for my tweezers, but there is just enough. I pop them like that so that my hands are out the way and I can see that I'm straight. Now I'm going to put these just above the middle, the card, and I would say pretty central, like that. And now I get to decide how close I want to position them, or how spread I want to position them. Once the middle one's down, and you could do them crooked if you wanted, or overlapping. It's whatever fits your vibe. But I'll just remove these backing pieces. And again, I'm looking at these corners here to make sure they line up, and then press that down, and I will do the same on this side as well now. Watch this corner and this corner to make sure this gap is equidistant, and there you go. Okay, so card number 3. Now, card number 4. I make top fold cards, and I don't have a side fold, so I will make one. Let's just grab a sheet of cardstock, excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 5.5. This isn't necessary, I could use a top fold, it all still works, but I think for this one I would prefer to have a top fold, but I'll show you. Leave it with me, I will show you. So we're going to score at 4.25 on this one to create what is considered a standard regular A2 card base. Okay, so I want to put it this way up, and here we go. So let's work out which way round. Here we go. And we're going to go like this. So these do, of course, work this way up, the same as we did on the last. But I thought for this one I would like to pop them on their side. So I'm going to map these up now, just the same as I have done for all of the others. Number 1, 2, and number 3. I do find it easiest when you're trying to line things like this up to take the shortest edge, so because then you've got the two corners to look at, whereas if you're looking at these two you're having to look further apart. And then I put it where I think it needs to be, and then I'll hold it with my finger and let it drop down. So now I have my 3 pieces. I'm going to pop some foam tape behind them. Okay. Let's chop this to be just a bit thinner. Let's make it easier on ourselves, shall we? Something novel. One. 2. 3. Gloria has asked if this is 1 card, 4 cards from 1 sheet, and it is. This is all 1 sheet of pattern paper. It was Liam Wolf share right now the layout. There we go. So and the other camera will be overhead instead of my face, so I can show you this. Right, so the purple dots, which are the 1.5 pieces, that's this card. The yellow dot is this card. The green dots is this one, and the purple dots are this one, and that is all 1 piece of 6x6 pattern paper. And I did all of the optional mats, which are the ones to the right hand side of the layout. So yes, that is all from 1 sheet, which I'm very, very pleased with this. Okay, I'm just going to remove the backing now, and the same with the last one. You can position them wherever you like. It's your card, but I'm going to make an effort to try to get them in the middle and slightly elevated. Again, if it helps you to lay your T-square ruler so that you get them all in the same, in a line, then lay it on. I am an eyeball person, which means my cards are often a little bit on the crooked side, but they are handmade and I don't pretend for them to be anything else. So, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap, pop this one on, and then similar sized gap on this side for this one. Okay, so there we go. These are the 4 cards from the One Sheet Wonder as it stands. Now, I think they look really pretty, and you could just add a sentiment and call it made, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the same sentiment on all of them because I want them to look like a set. Now, I did this last week, which has helped enormously, and I think peacock feathers works really nicely with the teal. Do we agree? Are we happy with that? Or do you think we should use the let's use the villainous potion. Oh, I don't know. No, peacock feathers. We'll use peacock feathers because it is greeny and sea-like. Okay. So now I just have to find it, because whilst I did organise, didn't take too long. I haven't labelled the edges of my pads yet. Okay, so let's grab a block and let's add a sentiment. I will test this on a piece of waste. No, I will stamp it because I've got all brave about stamping without my MISTI, and I'm quite probably asking for it now, but I'm going to try it. So, ink it up. I have used this stamp a few times now, so it has been somewhat primed, and oxide ink is also kind. Ta-da! What do we think? Oh, I'm not sure if I like that now. He's going to get cross with me. I think I want a dark blue. I think I want chipped sapphire. So I'm gonna look for chipped sapphire. I do love peacock feathers, don't get me wrong. As you can see, it is one of my defaults, but I want chipped sapphire, which, let's see how long it takes for me to find this one now. Oh my gosh, straight to it. Getting good at this. Right, okay. Let's make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pop this now out of the way. And I'm going to stamp our chipped sapphire sentiment. On this one, right down in the corner. I try not to over ink my stamp. I press it in, I make sure it's got coverage, and then I hold it. As you can see, I can hold it down. It's not just a dunk dunk. I let the ink have a moment to transfer across, in the hope that that will give it the ink the chance to transfer, because this is a pigmented ink. I'm going to pop this one in the middle, or where I think where my eyeballs consider the middle to be. Okay, and then up. That's number 2. Number 3, I'm going to put this also. Oh, I'm actually going to tuck it over to this side, just to change what I usually do, just to try and make it different. Now, this is a really nice way to make a gift set of cards as well. If you aren't really sure what to give someone as a gift, making them a coordinating set of, just a note kind of card is, I think it's really lovely. And I've just dropped this one down, right down to the bottom, just so that they all look a little different. there we go. I'll clean my stamp later, but now we have these, and I would say that that is more than acceptable for handmade cards. They're super simple, but they're really clean, and they're yeah, as I say, I really like them. But what I'm going to do now, we're going to decorate them. And to decorate, let's move those away, let the sentiments dry so I don't smudge them. Start with this one. I have a little china bowl, and when I'm picking ephemera, I will tip all of them out so that I can have, you know, I try to arrange somewhat. But these are so pretty. So I'm going to try not to be ages because Liam will tell me off. But you can pop one in the middle, or you could lay one on top if you don't want to cover your paper up. It's really, I love these big jellyfish. I think they are splendid. I'm going to use the starfish on this one. The gold in the starfish looks really lovely, so we'll go with that. I'm going to pop it up on some foam. Here's some I cut earlier. And then in the embellishment bag, we could be here for days, couldn't we, now? Right, take the wood out of the way. And the dies, let's have a look. We've got such pretty little charms in here. I'm going to stick with the gems, but we'll pop a big gem. Thing is, you could decorate covering over. In fact, I'm going to do a few. I won't do all of them, but they have the glittery dots on the starfish. So if I just cover a few of those over with the gems to make the starfish the real star of the show, every pun intended, I'm afraid. Sorry, Liam. I can feel him cringing over to the side there. Okay. And then we'll add a few more just around. We'll randomly. You could obviously cover every little dot that the starfish has in a gold gem, because you do get lots in your kit. These are my favourite, these tiny weeny ones. I like to have the big one as well for a bit of contrast, which was why we included them this month. But I do try to include some bling each month with our kits. Pop that one there. Okay, I think I'm going to call this card done. So there is card number 1. Card number 2. Or we could have sideways floating jellyfish. I really love this big one, but the big ones need to be the sort of the showstopper. Let's see, what could we, we could have a small one though. Let's see, have we got this, where's the small Goldie? Look at all these lovely bits. I get very overexcited by all of the pretty. And it is a case of just playing. I could play for hours and hours, especially this bit, the decorating bit. Assembly is fun, but the application of bling is quite possibly my favourite. I think I am going to use this jellyfish that we've got out, or should we use a purpley one? No, we're going to use the gold. And then the same again, I'll pop a bit of foam behind each of these. They're unusual shapes, but just need that bit of support behind the body of them. Couple of gems. I will do a big one either side of the sentiment, which is very easily managed because the popping up protects them. You know, they're not sticking proud because these are already elevated. And then I'm going to add a couple of the smaller ones in the tentacles of the jellyfish to add a bit of interest into our quite simple but very sparkly. Oh, one's run away from me. There it is. And I'm going to follow the rule of 3 and not have an even number. So there we go. Here's card number 2. Okay. Card number 3. I'm going to keep pulling this jellyfish out, aren't I? I can't help it. I think it will. Yeah, I'm going to use this, and it's just going to be as simple as that. Pop a piece of foam. Sorry, I just knocked my microphone there, if that made an awfully loud noise to everyone. Okay. And I will use three gems running down, following this line from the edge, just to provide a small bit of detail there. There we go. Card number 3. Card number 4. Decisions, decisions. Sorry everybody, I should have this done beforehand. There's so many different ways that you can enjoy these kits. And this is the fun bit, this is the bit you don't want to rush. The decorating. I think I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to hang it, and I'm going to tape on the top part. And I'm going to pop some foam on the bottom to support it. And I think this, because I don't want to cover over all of the prettiness that we've created. I think just like that is lovely. And as I say, there's all these lovely starfish. We've got the bling, the turtles, the tails. But I think, it's so tempting to put gems in it it doesn't need it. Okay, I am going to call these cards, these 4 one-sheet wonders, completed. What do we think? Do we like? Try and arrange them so you can actually see them all. There we go. So, 1 sheet of 6x6 patterned paper, 5 pieces of ephemera, 1 sheet of the specialty. Didn't put any peel-offs on, and to be honest, the variety, particularly the hearts, I think on these would look really lovely in amongst the gems, the little moon dust hearts. But yes, 1 ink pad, and you could equally take another piece of ephemera and pop it on the inside. But I think with envelopes, if you make some pretty envelopes, that this is a really nice gift set to give to somebody. So there's 4 cards from the Under the Sea card kit, which we do still have a few in stock of. We are up to date with shipping. I believe we're up to date with emails, or at least we will be by the end of today. Having a weekend as a crop always leaves me scrabbling a little bit for the first few days, so I will get to anything and everything that is required, and we will be starting to sneak peek, would you believe. Today is the first day ahead of our September Super Kit, and for those of you that are new to us, the September Super Kit is our way of saying thank you to our subscribers, and we completely throw the budget out the window. That's essentially what happens. We each month we have a budget that we spend on each kit to be able to keep it within the price for our subscribers. And because September is Love from Lizzie's birthday, that's when we started our little operation. We like to say thank you to our subscribers, and we give you an absolutely enormous kit for exactly the same subscription price. And they are available a la carte, but it is at an increased price this month. But we will be starting to sneak those today. We are releasing, I believe the 19th falls on the weekend. Can you confirm that for me, please, Liam? Which day we will be releasing on? Or no, 19th. Oh, it's next Tuesday. Okay, so we won't be live next week because we will be releasing, and it will be our super kit, which is very exciting. So I will speak with you in person like this in 2 weeks. But I hope you follow our sneak peeks on Instagram and join me in thanking all of the design team for all of the lovely items they're making. And oh, we have Alma as well. Thank you, Alma. Really appreciate you joining us. And I really do hope that you've all enjoyed today's video, and let me know if there's anything you would like to see coming up. But we will be having a new challenge as of release day as well, so it'll be the challenge number 6. So please enter challenge 5 while you can. I will be sharing the cards that I made over the weekend on there for inspiration for people to enjoy as well. So thank you very much for sticking with us. I really hope that you've enjoyed this, and until next time, make something beautiful. Bye.